What's up, guys? We're back with a full slate of MLB action here on Saturday, May 10th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate and both NBA playoff games. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick out my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, looks like we are going to have a pretty good one. We did miss on the Phillies at -120. That was pretty annoying. They didn't show up, scored 0 runs, ended up losing 6-0. But everything else looking pretty good. Milwaukee, Tampa Bay, that under 9 came through. Tampa Bay ends up winning that game 4-3, so we'll cash that bet on the under. We had the Twins at -120. That was a 3-1 win there. Paddock was great. Hicks, not as bad as he's been, but bad enough for us to come away with the win. We do still have Westbrook here over 13.5 points, so we'll see how the second half of that NBA playoff game goes. But we hit both our dog of the day and our massive lock of the day. We had the Pirates at +126 as our dog of the day. Falter was very, very good out there, and the Pirates come away with the 3-2 win. So cashing a nice underdog there feels fantastic. We had the Padres at -175. That was our massive lock of the day, and it ended up being a 13-9 win there for the Padres in a game where they really messed around there late, kind of made it seem like the Rockies had a chance. We were getting a little bit scared as we saw that number go up there for Colorado, but no problem there at the end. The Padres come through with the win for us, making us 14-4 on our lock of the day so far this year since we introduced that bet. So a lot of positives out there, guys. This is all on the heels of us going 5-0 yesterday. So definitely slam that like button. I think I've probably earned it. Now, guys, let's go ahead and hop into our first game of the night here on Saturday. It's the Atlanta Braves going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Braves come into this game 18-20 on the season and fresh off of that loss in game 1 of that series against the Pirates. Hitting the Pirates +126 felt pretty good, guys. If you cash that bet with me, go ahead and slam that thumbs up button. The Braves are going to be hitting the ball in this one to AJ Smith-Shawver, who's 2-2 this year, a 3.00 ERA, and for a 22-year-old out there starting games in the MLB, that's not too shabby. Now, his last start, he did go 8 innings, giving up only 1 hit there against Cincinnati Reds. It was a 4-0 win there for Atlanta, but I'm a little bit worried about him coming off a game where he pitched 8 innings when his previous highest innings pitched this season was 5 1/3. So definitely some concerns there for me about AJ Smith-Shawver, guys. No doubt about it. Now, the Atlanta bullpen, it's been serviceable this season, I suppose, but not elite like it was last year. And the offense, obviously coming off a game where they scored 2 runs, isn't looking amazing. We've seen Austin Riley do some positive stuff, but they're sitting at 19th in the majors in runs scored and 20th in batting average. Not an offense that I'm scared of. So we'll see what they do here against the Pirates, who are 13-26 on the year. Kelly, a winner there in his MLB debut as manager. That's cool, but the Pirates still not a team that you're generally going to be super stoked about. They're going to be hitting the ball to Andrew Heaney, who's 2-3 on the year, a 3.18 ERA. His last couple of starts have been pretty problematic, but they were against very good teams, giving up 4 earned runs over 4 2/3 against the Cubs and 4 earned runs over 3 2/3 against the Padres. A big departure from, very good starts against teams like, the Angels and the Washington Nationals. So we'll see if we can get back on track here going up against a team like the Atlanta Braves. Obviously not very good at the plate. Now, the bullpen situation with the Pirates, definitely not great. Well below MLB average, a 4.30 bullpen ERA. And it's not like the offense is on fire either. They've scored 3-0, 1-3, and 0 runs over the last few. Andrew McCutchen leading the way. Just not an offense that you're probably going to be very scared of. They're second to last in the majors in runs scored and second to last in slugging percentage. So, looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Braves at -140, the Pirates at +120. We've got a total of 8.5. Atlanta's only 6-13 on the road, 9-8-2 to the over on the road. The Pirates 7-12 at home, 11-8 to the over at home. This is kind of a tricky one, guys. I'm not going to be comfortable taking the Braves there with AJ Smith-Shawver on the mound coming off of an 8-inning appearance. That's just not going to be something I'm okay with. So kind of as a default here, give me the Pirates and Andrew Heaney at +120, but I don't think this is going to be the dog of the day again, although we have to at least keep it in mind. Next up, in another mid-afternoon start, we've got the St. Louis Cardinals going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Cardinals got the blowout 10-0 win there over the Nationals in Game 1 of this series, and that puts the Cardinals on a 6-game winning streak, which pretty impressive for a team that's been a little bit all over the place. Now, Feedy threw his first career shutout. That's a pretty cool thing for him to knock off the old bucket list. The Cardinals are going to be hitting the ball in this one to Andre Palante, who's 2-2 on the year, a 4.75 ERA. He's done some good stuff, but his last start did not look good there against the Mets. He's had a couple bad starts against the Mets. Mets. 3 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 4 earned runs in the last one. Now, the Cardinals did manage to win that game 5-4 in the end, but it was not Palante's fault. So we'll see if he can bounce back a little bit here, see if this Cardinals bullpen can continue to look better and better. They're just, not great over the course of the year, but they're starting to look quite a bit better. A 4.24 bullpen ERA is headed in the right direction for them. The offense, kind of turning it back on. 10, 5, 2, 6, and 5 runs over their last few games. Brendan Donovan's hit the ball well this year. Wilson Contreras hitting the ball well. 5 home runs, batting over 250 for him. This team is looking maybe like they are actually good offensively. We'll see. They're still second in the majors in batting average and 7th in on-base percentage, but it seems difficult, a difficult sell for me to believe they're actually that good. So we'll see what they do here against the Nationals, who are only 17-22 on the year. They've dropped 3 in a row. They're handing the ball to Trevor Williams, who's 2-3 on the year, a 5.86 ERA. He's coming off a pretty bad start there against the Cincinnati Reds. Now, we did see the Nationals win that game 11-6, but we also saw Trevor Williams give up 9 hits and 4 earned runs over 5 1/3 innings. The start before that, he got shelled by the New York Mets, so not somebody that I have a ton of faith in here. We'll see what he can do, though. That Nationals bullpen is a huge concern. A 7.29 bullpen ERA is the absolute worst in the major, so that's pretty freaking bad. Offensively, they scored 0, 6, 1, 10, and 4 runs over their last few games. They're around an average offense. Now, will that be the case all season long? Seems like a bit of a big ask to me, but we'll see. They're 17th in the majors in batting average and 14th in runs scored. We'll see if they can hold on to those kind of numbers. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Cardinals are -115, the Nationals are -105. We've got a total of 9 out there. The Cardinals up to 5-13 on the road now. Not a great road team. 10, 6, and 1 to the over on the road. Washington 10-9 at home, or I guess 10-10 now at home. 12, 6, and 1 to the over at home. I guess you could take over 9. I don't love it necessarily, but I guess you could take it. In terms of a side, I'm just going to ride this red-hot St. Louis Cardinals team and see where it takes me. Palante's shown good stuff this season for sure. He's also shown some bad stuff, so maybe he won't be great. Trevor Williams has not looked good at all recently, so that's one of the reasons I think the over is in play, but nothing from this game is going in the pinned comment. Jumping in real quick with a shout out to our sponsors, guys, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from the entire team of experienced cappers over there. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been the most profitable sport the last 3 years in a row. It's off to a fantastic start to this season, and the premium picks over there at Stump the Spread just went 3-0 on Friday. Our premium capper over at Stump the Spread for Major League Baseball cashed on the Houston Astros, the Tampa Bay Rays, and on the Cleveland Guardians yesterday. So that's a pretty tidy 3-0 day. Over at StumpTheSpread.com, you can get access to our free-to-use bet size calculator, all of our exclusive free picks that are only posted over there. And obviously, if you sign up for a premium package, you can see our premium top confidence picks from our MLB cap over there at Stump the Spread. Also, if you're not looking to, make an investment right now, just go ahead and sign up for a free account. All they need is your name and your email address, and it'll be on that free email newsletter. They'll get you free picks straight to your inbox every single day. Occasionally, there'll be a parlay or two thrown in there. Also, you could get, niche betting information on things like NASCAR or golf or even weirder sports, horse racing. All kinds of weird stuff can be included in that email. And if you're having trouble getting those emails, guys, just check your spam folder. Every once in a while, they end up in there. Also, guys, if you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members are eligible for our members-only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member on May 20th, and if we can get just a couple more channel members before then, we'll be doing 2 giveaways. Also, if you'd rather have a t-shirt, I understand that it's summertime, we can do a t-shirt giveaway or a hoodie giveaway, whatever floats your boat. Members also get early access to all of our videos and get their names up on screen in every single video. Now, guys, let's hop back into this MLB slate and look at our next game. We've got the New York Knicks going on the road to take on the, now, Sacramento Athletics. The Yankees come into this game 21-16 on the year. They're currently playing game 1 of this series with the Yankees up big. They're up 5-0 there in the top of the 8th inning with nobody out and a runner on second, so they could be extending this lead a little bit. That would be 3 straight wins for the Yankees if they can pull it off. They've been playing pretty well. They're going to be handing the ball to Carlos Rodon in this game, who's 4-3 on the season, a 2.96 ERA. Now, his last start, a pretty good one, guys, against the Padres of all teams, a tough opponent. 6 2/3 innings, 3 hits, no runs allowed, just nothing bad, really. He walked 1, struck out 5. Unfortunately for him, the Yankees eventually lose that game 4-3. Clearly not his fault, so we'll see what he can do here against the Athletics. Now, the Yankees bullpen has not been a big problem this season. Top, 8 right now in the majors, a 3.31 bullpen ERA. The offense has been doing its thing. Aaron Judge cooling off drastically here as of late, but just overall, I don't think we need to be too worried about an offense that's third best in the majors in runs scored and first in on-base percentage. So we'll see what they can do here against the Athletics, who are 20-18 on the year. Going to need to mount quite the comeback if they want to beat the Yankees in Game 1 of this series. They're going to be hitting the ball to J.P. Sears, who's 4-2 on the year, a 2.93 ERA. And this Athletics team has been better than projected. I mean, J.P. Sears has been throwing the ball great, but when you look at his last 4 games, they were against the Miami Marlins, 2 games against the Rangers, and then a game against the White Sox. So I would kind of expect you to have a lot of success against a couple teams like that. So we'll see what he can do against a good team in the Yankees. Now, the bullpen there for the Athletics has not been great, a 4.54 bullpen ERA, but some of that's get canceled out by how good their offense has been. I mean, they're 5th best in the majors in batting average. They are 6th best in slugging percentage. We've seen Brent Rooker and Tyler Soderson both look amazing here in the early going. So we'll see if they can get this offense back on track. Looking at the numbers, the Yankees are minus 155. The Athletics are plus 130. We've got a total of 9.5 in this one. The Yankees 8-8 on the road, 8-6-2 to the under on the road. Sacramento, or the Athletics, depending how you want to look at it, is 7-11 at home, 11-7 to the over at home. I guess give me a tiny look at the over in this game, I suppose, but not a spot that I'm really too interested in. I would maybe take the Yankees at minus 155. It seems like they're due to turn things back on here and make life pretty tough for the Athletics, and I think J.P. Sears gonna have a hard time going up against an elite offense. Next up, we're looking at the Milwaukee Brewers going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. Milwaukee took the 4-3 loss there in Game 1 of this series, so that's not necessarily ideal for the Brewers fans out there. They're going to be hitting the ball to Tobias Myers in this one. He's 1-0, a 3.65 ERA. Now, his last start, he gave up 6 hits over only 5 1/3, but only a single earned run. And we saw the Brewers beat the Houston Astros in that one 5-1. So I'm sure he feels good about that. That Milwaukee bullpen, not a lot to feel good about there. A 4.88 bullpen ERA is pretty bad. And the offense has scored 3, 1, 4, 5, and 4 runs over their last few games. Not looking super high powered. I mean, they're 12th in the majors in runs scored, but that's a number that's been trending down. They're 22nd in the majors in batting average and 27th in slugging percentage. Those seem like pretty problematic numbers that don't make me think this offense is good. Now, they're taking on a Tampa Bay Rays team that's 17-21 on the year. They're obviously fresh off of that win. They needed that after losing 3 straight there against the Phillies. They're going to be hitting the ball to Taj Bradley in this game, who's 3-2, a 4.43 ERA, and he got right back after it after, kind of a tough start there against the Yankees. A decent start against Arizona, a good start against Kansas City, and then a nice bounce back, 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs start there against the Yankees, which was also a 7-5 Tampa Bay win. So you love to see that if you're a Tampa Bay fan. You also love to see their bullpen being so reasonable, a 3.33 bullpen ERA. Not a lot to complain about there. The offense, though, it's problematic. They're coming off a game where they scored 4 runs. They're 22nd in the majors in runs scored, also 22nd in the majors in on-base percentage, getting on base at a 309 clip. So not a super scary team at the plate. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Brewers at plus 115, the Tampa Bay Rays at minus 135. We've got a total out there of 9.5. You can also find 9s out there as well. Milwaukee, 7-12 on the road, 9-8-2 to the under on the road. Tampa Bay, 9-15 at home, 12-10-2 to the under at home. I have no problem taking under 9.5 in this game. Neither offense is very good. Obviously, the Brewers' bullpen isn't very good, but the Tampa Bay offense is pretty terrible. And the Tampa Bay defense or pitching staff is very solid as well. I like Taj Bradley on the mound. I don't hate Tobias Myers on the mound, so definitely give me a look at under 9.5. And you could also interest me in the Tampa Bay Rays at minus 135. They're playing a little bit better than I think the Milwaukee Brewers are playing at the moment. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the team that let us down yesterday, the Philadelphia Phillies, going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. The Phillies come into this game fresh off getting shut out there 6-0, giving up 3 home runs to the Guardians. That's not a good look. They're going to be hitting the ball to Ranger Suarez, who did not figure in a result in his first start, but looked horrible out there, getting absolutely demolished by the Arizona Diamondbacks. 3 2/3 innings pitched, 7 earned runs, given up on 7 hits. Despite having a very good time there in his, build up to coming back to the majors, he did not look good out there in that one. So we'll see if he bounces back. We'll see that Phillies bullpen can continue to look a little bit better, but it's not been a very good bullpen, guys. There's no way around that. And the offense, while it's been great at times, is coming off of getting shut out. So I'm not about to give them a ton of flowers for that. They're 10th in the majors in runs scored and 4th in batting average, but you can't be putting up zeros. That's not a great look. So we'll see what they do here against the Guardians, who are 23-15 on the year. They've won 3 in a row. They're hitting the ball to Tanner Bybee, who's 3-2 on the year, a 4.26 ERA, and he hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in 4 out of his last 5 starts. He did get shelled once in there by the Baltimore Orioles, but overall, he's been throwing the ball well recently. And the bullpen there for Cleveland, while they're not one of the top bullpens in the majors like they were last season, a 3.72 bullpen ERA has them at least slightly above average. The offense seems like it's figuring things out. Jose Ramirez hitting a home run. They've scored 6, 8, 9, 9, and 5 runs over their last few games. Steven Kwan hitting the ball well. Kyle Manzardo still doing his thing. They're 16th in the majors in runs scored and 14th in the majors in slugging percentage. I think this offense is swinging the bats pretty well right now. So looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Phillies at minus 125, the Guardians at plus 105. We've got totals of 8 or 7.5. The Phillies are 8-9 on the road, 11-6 to the under on the road. Cleveland 11-5 at home, 9-7 to the under at home. I'm not going to take the under in this game with Ranger Suarez on the mound with how bad he looked. I will, however, take the Guardians at plus 105. I like the way Bobby's throwing the ball right now. Suarez seems like quite the enigma. Maybe he'll settle down and look great in this one. It's hard to know, but I would kind of tend to bet against that happening. So go ahead and give me the Guardians here at plus 105. Next up, we're looking at the Texas Rangers going on the road in this one to take on the Detroit Tigers. Now, the Rangers come into this game 18-21 on the year, losers of 3 in a row, including losing 2-1 there at Detroit yesterday. They're going to be hitting the ball to Jacob deGrom, hoping he can, continue to do his thing out there. He's 2-1 on the year, a 2.61 ERA. His last time out, he dominated the Seattle Mariners, 5 innings, 3 hits, only 1 run allowed. So very good stuff. And honestly, over his last 4 outings, he's looked very, very good. And that includes a dominant start there against the Dodgers. So liking a lot of what we're seeing from deGrom right now. The bullpen situation there for the Rangers is not great. A 4.00 bullpen ERA doesn't leave tons of room for optimism there. They're going to need to improve a lot down the stretch. And the offense, still terrible. 1, 0, 4, 6, and 8 runs over their last few games. They're currently 28th in the majors in runs scored. They are 25th in the majors in batting average. This is just straight up not a good offensive team. So we'll see what they can do out there in this one, going up against the Tigers, who are 26-13 on the year, winners of 5 in a row. They're hitting the ball to Jack Flaherty, who's 1-4 on the year, a 3.79 ERA. His last couple of starts, not great. And we can't help but notice that the Tigers are 0-5 in those outings. Now, he did strike out 8 against the Angels, but also give up 4 earned runs, 5 runs overall on 8 hits. So not somebody we're super high on at the moment. The Tigers bullpen has taken over that top spot there from the San Diego Padres bullpen. A 2.39 ERA coming out of the pen is obviously elite, and the offense has been doing its thing recently. I mean, 2, 11, 10, and 8 runs over the last few games. We love what we've seen from Torkelson this season. McKinstry's been very, very good. They're second in the majors in runs scored and first in batting average. Is that going to continue forever? Seems unlikely, but they are looking good right now, and that's why they are basically a coin flip in this game. The Rangers are minus 115. The Tigers are minus 110. We've got a total of 7.5. The Rangers are 6-12 on the road, 10-8 to the under on the road. Detroit 13-3 at home, 10-4-2 to the under at home. So I would think under 7.5, super duper live in this game. I expect both starters to have a pretty good outing. And given that, I'm going to side with the team with the better bullpen. So give me the Tigers here at minus 110 as a slight lean, but I also think the under is certainly worth considering. Next on the docket, we've got the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. The Red Sox come into this game fresh off of a loss there, a 2-1 extra inning loss there in Game 1. Furman hitting that 12th inning single to give them the Royals the win there. The Red Sox got to be pretty tilted. They're handing the ball in this one to Garrett Crochet, who's 3-2 on the year, a 2.02 ERA. He's coming off a very nice start there against the Twins. 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run allowed, but we did see the Red Sox eventually lose that game 5-4. So you can only do so much. Once you hand the ball off to the bullpen, there's not a whole lot you can do to affect the game. Now, the Red Sox, a 3.70 bullpen ERA, while slightly above average, is not great. And the offense is supposed to be so good. I'm just not seeing it recently, guys. They've scored 1, 5, 6, 1, 4, and 3 runs over their last few. I don't know if that's supposed to get me super pumped up. Devers having this whole weird thing about, he doesn't want to play first base and they want him to play first base. I don't understand why this is such a huge deal. Playing first base is not a big deal. So I don't know, guys. This team is tied for 5th in the majors in runs scored, but they just don't feel like a top 5 offense to me. So we'll see what they can do here against the Royals, who are 24-16 on the year. They've been on an insane run here, winning 7 in a row. They're going to be hitting the ball to Cole Rangans, who's 2-1 on the year, a 3.79 ERA. His last couple of starts were against the White Sox and the Colorado Rockies, and he struggled against the Rockies, but a very nice start there against the White Sox. It seemed like he got back on track in that one, so that's certainly helpful. And striking out 11, that'll help you as well. So we'll see if he can do that well against the Red Sox. The Royals bullpen's been excellent. Top 5 in the majors, a 2.76 bullpen ERA. In the offense, it's not good, guys. There's just no way around it. This is not a very good offensive team. Bobby Wood Jr., he's good-ish, usually. Very good, but they're 23rd in the majors in runs scored and 22nd in the majors in slugging percentage. for a reason. It's because this offense is just not great. So looking at the numbers, the Red Sox are minus 120. The Royals are plus 100. We've got a total of 7.5. Boston, 9-10 on the road, 10-9 to the over on the road. Kansas City, 15-5 at home, 13-7 to the under at home. So do we really want to think about taking the under in this game? It's looking like a very offensively challenged kind of series, and we've got two excellent starters on the mound, so maybe we have to consider it. I mean, Crochet should have a pretty good time against the Royals. Rangan should have a pretty good time with what the Red Sox are looking like recently. So sure, give me the under. And also, if you're begging me for a side in this one, give me the home team. But overall, this isn't a game that I see a ton of value in. Rolling right along, guys, we got the Cincinnati Reds going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. The Reds at 19-21 on the year, not having a great time recently. They've actually lost 6 out of their last 7 games. They lost game 1 of the series 3-0, getting just mowed down there by Hunter Brown. The Reds are going to hand the ball to Brady Singer in this game. He's 4-2 on the year, a 3.66 ERA. Fresh off a pretty bad start there at Atlanta. I mean, 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs. I guess not a complete disaster, but also not great. He's been very good in general this season for the Reds, though, so I think they have to be overall happy with him. I think they're also overall relatively happy with their bullpen. A 3.55 ERA coming out of the pen is not bad, but the offense can just completely disappear, and that's what it's been doing for a few games here. They've scored 0, 4, 4, 1, 0, and 1 runs over their last few games. They are down to 12th in the majors in on-base percentage. They're 18th in the majors in slugging percentage. That run score number is fake because of that 24-run game they put up against the Orioles. So we'll see what the Reds do here, but this is not an offense that I'm very interested in. Now, the Astros have not had a hot start to their year at all. 19-18 on the season, hitting the ball in this game to Lance McCullers Jr., who has yet to figure out a result this season. It's only his second start, his second outing. In his first one, he gave up 3 hits in 3 2/3 innings against the White Sox in a game that was eventually rain-shortened, ended in 7 innings with the Astros taking the loss. So we'll see what this 31-year-old can do out there in this game. He should get a more reasonable shot to make a real start. Now, the bullpen for Houston has been fantastic. A 2.73 bullpen ERA. No problems there. Once again, though, this is a team that's had struggle of putting up runs. They're 20th in the majors in runs scored, 23rd in slugging percentage. They've scored 3, 9, 3, 1, and 4 runs over their last few games. Nobody off to a particularly torrid kind of start. So looking at the numbers here, the Reds are plus 120. The Astros are minus 140. We've got a total of 8. The Reds are 10-9 on the road, 11-8 to the under on the road. Houston 11-7 at home. They're 10-8 to the under at home. Am I going to take under 8 in this game? I don't think I can really justify that with McCullers Jr. on the mound, but I can justify the Reds here at plus 120. I think it's a pretty decent spot to back Cincinnati. They got to get out of this funk at some point. The offense hasn't been looking good, but I think they've had a great chance to look good here against Lance McCullers Jr., not a starter that I'm super stoked about right now. So give me the Reds at plus 120 with an outside chance to be our dog of the day. Rolling right along, we're looking at the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the Chicago White Sox. The Marlins lost game 1 of the series 6-2. That can't feel great. They're 14-23 on the year, so pretty bad. No shock there. They're giving the ball in this game to Edward Cabrera, who's 0-1 on the year, a 6.29 ERA. Now, his last start was serviceable. He was against the Athletics. He went 5 2/3 innings, gave up 7 hits and 2 earned runs in a game we eventually saw the Marlins lose 3-2. So not a great look on the ending of that game, but in general, he threw the ball okay. He didn't give up a home run, which is a big departure for him. He usually gives up 1 home run in every start, but maybe he looked a little bit better. We'll see if he can string a couple decent starts together here. He does go up against the White Sox, so he should have a chance. The bullpen there for the Marlins, I mean, we're not going to get too happy about a bottom 4 in the majors bullpen, a 5.26 bullpen ERA. Pretty terrible. The offense not great either. 2, 1, 5, 4, and 2 runs over the last few games. Nobody off to a particularly great start. They're 16th in the majors in runs scored, but 20th in on-base percentage and 20th in slugging percentage. Not the kind of offense that you want for your squad. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the White Sox, who are at 11-28 on the year. They're fresh off that 6-2 win, kind of wild stuff. But I mean, I don't know. They're hitting the ball in this game to Shane Smith, who's 1-2, a 2.41 ERA. This young 25-year-old's been doing his thing out there. He gave up 2 earned runs in his last start there at Kansas City, over 5 innings on 5 hits. So not necessarily a dominant outing, but he's had his share of dominant outings this season. So we'll see what he can do here against the Marlins. I don't think it's a terrible spot for him. I don't necessarily think it's a terrible spot for the White Sox bullpen either, given that they're actually slightly better than the Marlins bullpen. The White Sox offensively, not something to write home about. 27th in the majors in runs scored, 29th in the majors in batting average, and last in slugging percentage. So not a team with a ton of dudes on it that scare me when they're at the plate. So I'm not shocked to see the odds makers having this one as a coin flip. They're both teams are minus 110. We've got totals of 8.5 or 8. Miami 4-10 on the road, 11-3 to the over on the road. That's an MLB best mark to the over playing away from home. And the White Sox 7-11 at home, 10-6-2 to the over at home. So I guess what the trends are telling you to do is just take the over 8 on this game and kind of ignore the side, because I don't have a great lean on who's going to win this game. I mean, if you're forcing me, give me the White Sox at home, but I think the over or just staying away are what you want to do. Rolling right along, guys, we're looking at the Chicago Cubs going on the road to take on the New York Mets. The Cubs come into this game 22-17 on the year, but they've lost their last 3 in a row, including game 1 of this series, thanks in part to Lindor hitting another leadoff homer. The Cubs are going to hand the ball to Brad Keller in this game, who has yet to figure out a result this season. He's normally a bullpen guy. This will actually be his first start of the year, and the first time he's gone 2 or more innings, at least in theory he will, since going 2 innings against Milwaukee back on the 3rd. So we'll see what he can do out there in this one. Looks like overall just going to be a bullpen start there from the Cubs, who have not been a great bullpen team. A 4.51 bullpen ERA leaves an awful lot to be desired, if you ask me. And while the offense has been elite at times, they've scored 2, 1, 5, 9, and 0 runs over the last few games. Not looking like the team that currently is first in the majors in runs scored. So lots of room for bounce back stuff here for the Cubs as they go on the road to take on the Mets, who are 25-14 on the year. They've won 3 out of their last 4. They're going to hand the ball in this one to Taylor Miguel, who's 3-2 this year, a 2.50 ERA. Now, his last couple starts have been concerning, to say the least. He got knocked around there by the Cardinals, giving up 4 earned runs over 5 innings, including a home run, in a 5-4 loss there for the Mets. And to start for that, he didn't do amazing stuff against Washington, but he was fine. I mean, 6 1/3 innings and 3 earned runs allowed. Not the end of the world, but unfortunately we do see the Mets take the 8-7 loss in that game also. So yeah, New York probably looking for some questions there from Miguel, probably looking for their bullpen to continue doing what it's doing. Top 6 in the majors, not a lot wrong with that. The Mets offense, 7, 1, 5, and 4 runs over the last few, has been doing what it's supposed to do. Pete Alonso hitting the ball well this year. Other top 10 in runs scored, batting average, like you get the gist. This is a pretty good offensive team. So looking at the numbers here, we see the Cubs at plus 130, the Mets at minus 155. We've got a total of 9 out there. The Cubs are 12-7 on the road, 10-8-1 to the over on the road. The Mets 13-3 at home, 11-5 to the under at home. I'm not too interested in the under or the total in general in this game, but I'll definitely take the Mets at minus 155. They're going up against just the bullpen there for the Cubs. Miguel should be in for a little bit of a bounce back here. We'll see, but I do think we see the Mets eventually find a way to win this game, especially going up against the Cubs bullpen. Next up, guys, we have the San Francisco Giants going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The Giants come into this game 24-15 on the year, fresh off of a loss in Game 1, a 3-1 loss there. Thanks a lot for those Minnesota Twins cashing that bet for us. So slam that thumbs up button if you enjoyed cashing that bet there on the Minnesota Twins. The Giants come into this game handing the ball to Logan Webb, who's 4-2 on the year, off to a great start, a 2.61 ERA. His last time out, he dominated the Colorado Rockies. It was the Colorado Rockies, so we're not going to freak out too much. But in general, we've liked how he's thrown the ball. He's had some, kind of questionable outings, getting shelled there by San Diego, for example. Not the best start against the Yankees, but we'll see what he can do in this one. Logan Webb, not a pitcher that you're usually expecting to see struggle. Neither are you expecting the Giants' bullpen to struggle. It's been very solid as well. The offense there for the Giants has been a little bit down recently, which makes sense. They're 9th in the majors in runs scored, but 13th in slugging percentage and 24th there in batting average. So not exactly a recipe for your offense to continue to thrive. So we'll see what they do here against the Twins, who are 19-20 on the season. They've actually won their last 6 straight. They're giving the ball to Joe Ryan in this game. He's 2-2, a 2.93 ERA, and he has been very good over his last couple of outings, dominating the Angels and then giving up 1 earned run over 6 innings there against Boston. It was not his fault that he got only 1 run of support. So we'll see what the Twins bullpen can do here. They've been excellent as well, a top 10 bullpen with a 3.38 bullpen ERA. And the offense, 3, 5, 5, 9, 5, and 4 runs over their winning streak here is fine. It's not necessarily dominant stuff at the plate, but 18th in the majors in runs scored isn't the end of the world. So looking at the numbers here, we see the Giants at minus 105, the Twins at minus 115. We've got totals out there of 7 or 7.5. San Francisco 12-9 on the road, 15-5-1 to the over on the road. The Minnesota Twins 12-6 at home, 11-6-1 to the under at home. In terms of the side in this game, guys, I'll be shading towards the Twins at minus 115. I just don't trust Logan Webb that much right now. I know that feels a little bit crazy to say, and I'm not really too interested in that total. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the San Diego Padres going on the road here to take on the Colorado Rockies. The Padres, 24-13 on the year. They're fresh off of a game that got a little bit more interesting at the end than it should have been, but we end up cashing our lock of the day with a 13-9 Padres win. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Steven Kolek. He's 1-0 on the year, has yet to give up an earned run, but he's only had one start, and it was against the Pirates. 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed, and a 4-0 win there for the Padres. So you love to see that if you're a Padres fan. Their bullpen has also been elite. A 2.42 bullpen ERA is excellent, and the offense coming off a game where they scored 13 runs seems like they're out of that little funk that they had in that series against the Yankees. Manny Machado doing his thing out there, batting .319. They're 21st in the majors in runs scored, but 8th in batting average and 11th in on-base percentage, making me think at some point very, very soon they're going to have some big pop-off games. So could that happen here against the Rockies? Absolutely it could. Colorado, the worst team in the majors, 6-32 on the year. They're hitting the ball to Bradley Blaylock, who's 0-1 this season at 8.03 ERA. His last start was against the San Francisco Giants, and he was decent. 5 1/3 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, including a home run allowed, but I'm not ready to throw this guy any sort of parade yet. This is only his second start, and neither one have gone well. And every time he's been on the mound this season for the Rockies, they have lost 0-4 in games in which he has pitched. So none of that's a great look, obviously. Now, the bullpen for the Rockies is better than it was last year by a landslide margin, but a 3.77 bullpen ERA doesn't scare me off. The offense, while they did score 9 runs in game 1 of this series, has not been good this year at all. They're last in the majors in runs scored. They are last in the majors batting .211 as a team, and they are second to last in the majors getting on base at a .280 clip. So, looking at the numbers for this one, the Padres are -200. The Rockies are +170. We've got a total of 11.5. The Padres are 9-9 on the road, 10-8 to the under on the road. Colorado only 4-14 at home. That's an MLB worst record at home, and they are a slight under team at home. I'm not interested in that total of 11.5. Maybe take the under, but I will certainly be more than happily take the Padres here at -200. This is a decent chance to be the lock of the day. The price tag is a little expensive, but that's not what the lock of the day is about, guys. It's about whichever pick I think is the most likely to cash on that day. So the Padres at -200, definitely getting lots of consideration. Next up, guys, we got the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. These two teams are actually playing right now in another high-scoring thriller. Arizona up 11-8 there in the bottom of the 8th inning. So we'll see if they can finish that off. The Dodgers, 25-13 on the year, hitting the ball to Dustin May in this one, who's 1-2 this season, a 4.36 ERA. His last time out, not a great start there against Atlanta, and to be honest, his last 3 starts have left me a little bit underwhelmed, and those are starts against Atlanta, Miami, and the Cubs. So not exactly great stuff there. The Dodgers bullpen has been serviceable, but not dominant. And the offense clearly missing Hernandez. Obviously they've scored a lot of runs in their current game, but I don't know if they're really the same offense without him. He's a large part of what makes that whole machine click. So we'll see what they do here against the Diamondbacks, who are on a tear all of a sudden. They're up to 20-18 on the season, hitting the ball to Corbin Burns, who's 1-1 on the year, a 3.58 ERA. Now, his last 3 starts have been excellent. Hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of them. Unfortunately for him, Arizona has lost 2 out of those 3, but not really his fault. He's been putting them in a very good position to win. I wish I could say the same thing for their bullpen, which has been pretty mediocre, a 4.78 ERA coming out of the pen. Not what you want if you're a Diamondbacks fan, and even if the offense is so good, which it's been at most points of the season, that might not outcarry that kind of a situation. They're 5th in the majors in runs scored. They are 4th in slugging percentage, slugging a .430 mark. But can they really get the job done? And outcarry that pretty mediocre pitching staff? We'll have to wait and see. In this game, the Dodgers are -120. The Diamondbacks are +100. We've got a total of 9. The Dodgers are 8-9 on the road, 9-8 to the over on the road. Arizona 9-10 at home, 9-7-3 to the under at home. I think the over 9 is definitely live in this game. I think we'll see a good amount of offense once again, but I don't think we're going to see a very good day out there from Dustin May. So yeah, let's run it back here with the Diamondbacks. Give me Arizona at +100. I think they've got an excellent chance to win this game, regardless of what ends up happening in the end of the game there on Friday night. Rounding into the home stretch here on the MLB slate, before we hop over to that NBA playoff slate, we're looking at the Baltimore Orioles going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Angels. Now, the Orioles come into this game 13-23 on the year. They're playing right now in the bottom of the 9th inning. They're up 4-1 with 1 out. So they're probably going to come away with the win there against the Angels, but we'll wait and see. That would snap a 5-game losing streak for Baltimore. They're going to hand the ball to Kyle Gibson, who's 0-1 this year, a 14.09 ERA. His couple of starts this year, obviously getting shelled by the Yankees, looked bad, and then not great outing there against the Royals. So a lot of question marks around Kyle Gibson. Also a lot of question marks around that Baltimore bullpen, 3rd worst in the major leagues. and this offense has just fallen completely off a cliff this year. Nothing like the offense we saw from them yet last year. 26th in the majors in runs scored, 26th in on-base percentage, getting on base at a 295 clip. This is just not a good offensive team, guys. That's just not happening. There's not a good team at the plate. So we'll see what they do here against the Angels, who are 15-21 on the year. Joyce going there on the 60-day IL is a pretty bad look. They're going to be hitting the ball in this one to Jack Kohanowitz, who's been bad this year. 1-5, a 5.79 ERA, fresh off giving up 5 earned runs over 5 innings there on 7 hits against Detroit in a 13-1 blowout. Also, the Angels are 0-5 over his last 5 starts. A lot of negatives here surrounding Kohanowitz. So we'll see what the Orioles do there, see if the bullpen gets any better. A 5.36 bullpen ERA, obviously horrifying, third worst in the majors. And the offense, it's done some positive things, but in their current game, they've only scored 1 run. Game for that 5, game for that 5. So we'll see what they do. Mike Trout, obviously injury stuff there, and they're 24th in the majors in runs scored and 28th in batting average. So not a team that I'm super high on. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Orioles are minus 145. The Angels are plus 122. We've got a total of 9.5. Baltimore only 5-14 on the road, 12-6-1 to the under on the road. The Angels 8-7 at home, 8-6-1 to the over at home. No real lean in this game, guys. Basically not at all. If you're begging me for a side, give me the Orioles, I guess. But minus 145, way too steep of a price. And I have no major lean on that total except for maybe to take over. So really, guys, do yourselves a favor. Just stay away from this one. Looking at our nightcap here for MLB, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. Now, these two teams just finished up their game, I believe. Yes, I think they did. Yeah, Toronto comes away with the 6-3 win there in game 1 of this series. They're 17-20, or maybe it's 18-20 on the year now, handing the ball to Bowden Francis, who's 2-5 this season, a 5.68 ERA. Now, his last start was against Cleveland, and it didn't go great, and that runs us up to 3 straight struggling starts there for him. The last time he faced Seattle, though, he was excellent. 6 innings, 5 hits, only a single earned run allowed, and a 3-1 win there for Toronto. So we'll see if Bowden Francis can get back on track here against a team he's already been successful against once this season. We'll see if that Toronto bullpen can kind of, figure things out at some point. I mean, recently it has not been great. A 4.24 bullpen ERA has them in the bottom half of the majors, and the offense, while they're coming off a game, they scored 6 runs. That will be 6, 8, 4, 3, 4, and 3 runs over their last few games. George Springer hitting the ball well. Anthony Santander hitting the ball okay. They're 24th in the majors, though, in runs scored and 15th in the majors in batting average. So not an elite offense as they go on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners, who have been killing it this year, 22-14 on the season. They're handing the ball to Logan Evans, who's 1-1 on the year, a 7.20 ERA. This young 23-year-old might have his work cut out for him here. He's had 2 starts this season, a great one against Miami, and then a terrible one there against the Texas Rangers, a really weak hitting team that managed to dig him up for 11 hits and 6 earned runs. So pretty concerned about him. The Seattle bullpen, not a concern. They've been solid this year, and the offense has been amazing. They scored the 7th most runs in the majors this season, the 2nd highest on base percentage team. We've seen guys like J.P. Crawford do really well, Cal Raleigh do great. So we'll see what this team can do offensively. They usually have something to give there. Now, looking at the numbers for this one, the Blue Jays are plus 105, the Mariners are minus 125. We've got a total of 8. Toronto 5-12 on the road, 11-5-1 to the under on the road. Seattle 12-6 at home, 9-7-2 to the over at home. Given Bowden Francis's positive history there against Seattle, I'll take Toronto on the road, but not a huge lean on this game for me. Now, guys, hopping over to the NBA slate, we got a couple very interesting playoff games. And first up is an afternoon matinee there from the Boston Celtics taking on the New York Knicks. Now, the Celtics come into this game down 0-2. Pretty crazy stuff there. They lost game 2, 91-90. A crazy block there from Mikal Bridges. Overall, we just saw a very low-scoring rock fight of a game. Derek White actually led the scoring there for the Celtics, putting up 20 points, tied there with Jaylen Brown. Tatum, a pretty terrible game from him overall, not good at all, and Boston shot only 10 of 40 from 3. That's not going to work for them, even when they have a rebounding edge. The Celtics are dealing with some injury problems. Porzingis apparently going to play in this game, but who knows how many minutes he can play. Sam Hauser listed as questionable. Other than that, they are healthy and ready to go, but clearly Jaylen Brown not 100%, and Jason Tatum not looking good at all. So we'll see what they do here against the Knicks team that comes into this game fully healthy. New York got a nice game there from Karl-Anthony Towns, 17 points, 21 rebounds. Only 23 points there from Josh Hart, only 17 from Jalen Brunson. The bench was actually fairly productive. Loved a lot of what we saw there from the Knicks in game 2, and they come away with another win. So they're in pretty prime position to salt this series away. Now, we'll see what happens. The Knicks are getting 5.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 205.5. Boston, 21-21-1 against the spread on the road. They've been a great against the spread team coming off a loss this season, but that's a regular season stat primarily. They're also 48-40-1 to the under. The Knicks, 22-21-1 against the spread at home, 45-43-2 to the over. I'm going to be leaning here a bit towards the Celtics to figure things out here and get the win and cover on the road. I know it feels a little bit crazy, but I think the atmosphere is going to be so intense there at Madison Square Garden that it's going to do more harm than good for the home team and maybe, create some chaos that could theoretically help the Celtics. It's not a huge lean, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to have really any lean at all on the total, but I do have some player props that I think are very, very live in this game. And they're both rebounding, but I think that doesn't really matter. I think we're just looking for the value here. And I like Karl-Anthony Towns over 11.5 rebounds in this game. He had 17 boards in game 2, and if it feels like there's no one, it feels really like there's no one on the Celtics that can keep him off the glass. As long as he stays out of foul trouble, I think this is a very good spot, and I'm not even really worried about Porzingis being back. I don't think he'll play that many minutes. I don't think he can keep rebounds away from Cat anyway. I also like Derek White over 4.5 boards. I also kind of like the over on his points. I think it's up to 16.5 now, so I like it a little bit less, but I love Derek White here to get at least 5 rebounds. He had 9 boards in game 2 and is always a guy that's going to be crashing the boards a good amount of the time, and getting to 5 here in a desperation game seems like an excellent spot to me. It has a great chance to end up in the pinned comment. Last but not least here, guys, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves going on the road to take on the Golden State Warriors. The Timberwolves come into this game obviously fresh off of a must-win, win there in Game 2 against the Warriors with no Steph Curry, and a Warriors team is already up 1-0 on them. So Timberwolves got to figure something out here. They are fully healthy coming into this game. They saw, very good stuff there from Anthony Edwards and from Julius Randle there in Game 2. 20 points off the bench from Nickeil Alexander-Walker has to feel great. They shot 43% from 3. Overall, these should just be walk-over games for the Timberwolves against a Warriors team that looked so bad without Steph Curry. So Minnesota being fully healthy coming into this game, I think they should feel like they're in fantastic shape to just take care of business against a Warriors team that's going to come into this game obviously missing Steph Curry. Now, Golden State did manage to make it competitive a few different times in Game 2, but they're going to have to figure out a way to win at least one more game, if they have any shot of seeing Steph Curry out there again in this series. Now, Trace Jackson-Davis played really well. I think he deserves some more minutes here in Game 3. There were some positive things happening from Kuminga. I know it looked great. He was making all of his shots, but he just does not fit well into the flow of this Warriors offense and is terrible on defense. So we'll see how much run he gets. I do think they have to play him at this point, though. The real guy that's got to step up there is Jimmy Butler. Only 17 points, not going to be enough. He has to carry the load there from the Warriors, and if he's doing well, maybe we can get better play out of guys like Buddy Hield and Podziemski. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Warriors are getting 5.5 points here at home. We've got a total of 200.5. Minnesota 24-20 against spread on the road, 47-42 to the over. The Warriors 19-25-1 against the spread at home, 46-46 to the over/under. I'm going to be taking the Timberwolves here at -5.5, and I like it a good amount. I don't think there's any way the Warriors can actually keep up with Minnesota here unless we see some transcendent play from Jimmy Butler and a lot of help there from the officials. So we'll see how that goes. It would be kind of crazy, but I do think we see the Timberwolves get a comfortable win here. In terms of the total, it's such a small number, you could talk me into the over, but no major lean there on the total. In terms of a couple player props I like for this game, a couple of Warriors on the list. I like Jimmy Butler over 22.5 points. He had 17 in a pretty mediocre Game 2, but now back at the Chase Center, I expect him to do a lot more attacking and scoring, and to get to the free throw line a lot more than the 5 times he got there in Game 2, and that should give him a decent shot to get to the over on his points. I also like Buddy Hield over 14.5 points. He was very mediocre in a bad game there for the Warriors in Game 2 and still at 15 points. He'll be better at home, and getting to 15 points in this game should be no problem for the guy who needs to be the second best scorer there for the Warriors for them to have any sort of chance of keeping things even remotely competitive there against a full-strength Timberwolves team. That's all the games we have for today on a monster video for this Saturday. Hit that like button for good luck on your bets, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Get in the comments, let me know any questions you have on today's slate. I appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you're clicking that link in the description to get over to stumpthespread.com, and you can see all of our exclusive free picks that only get posted over there, and all the good stuff that's offered over there. And most importantly, get on that email list, guys. It's just free information, and it's straight to your inbox with really no effort to you. Thanks for watching once again, and we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.